Okay, so now we have the third one of the pro sailors that are representing Deckchute out in the big great world, and that is Jesper Radich. Jesper, you work as a coach kind of also with the Deckchute, is that true? Or?
I do coaching for teams that are starting up or developing their sailing skills with the Deckchute. I have a background with a lot of maxi sailing. I've seen the whole evolution of how Deckchute came up, and I probably sailed with all the first teams that tried it. I've kind of seen the different steps and also seen what it takes. What are the pitfalls? How can you fuck it up? And how do you make it work in a good way?
As we know, you are a tactician, and so you're in the back of the boat. How does that fit together with the Deckchute?
I think the really key benefit is, I would say, it's two parts with the Deckchute. First of all, it is a greatly reduced amount of time you spend dropping the kite itself. And the second part is that it's actually really safe. It's really rare that it goes wrong, so it's a really high reliability in the system. That means, as a tactician, the period of time I need to dedicate to approaching the drop, that means in terms of time, but also space on the race course, is greatly reduced. So I can be much more aggressive in the way that I play the game, because I'm not. The time that I'm locked out in the positioning game is much shorter. That means I can make my final call for the jibe much later and still be perfectly safe and secure that the kite will be coming down, because the guys are running the Deckchute in the front. And it also means that we are much less sensitive to when you do your final jibe on a maxi 8-10 minutes out and you get a wind shift, you're really in trouble. Because you can't do your final jibe because there's no time to do a full jibe and then a drop. With the Deckchute, that's completely changed. So we are much less sensitive to the variations of the breeze, and you can spend more time sailing optimal angles and really fighting for boat speed instead of struggling to get a proper drop at the end. I think I have a great one from, it's probably on YouTube online somewhere. It was basically we were doing Super Yacht Cup Palma last year, and 3 boats really close, approaching 3 super maxis, approaching the last leeward mark, and in super yacht racing you got the 300 meter circle, and which is actually not a long time when you're doing 14-16 knots in these boats. Anyway, what happened was that we were all 3 boats coming into that circle. It was all about who got the overlap or not. So normally you would be starting your drop just as you hit the 300 meter circle, but because we're able to drop so much later, we're able to stay away from an overlap and actually make it like a kiwi drop in about 24 seconds on Saudade, which is a 1500 square meter kite, and normally you dedicate 1 minute 30 for that, so completely different game, and a lot of fun, a lot of action, a bit of shouting, but big gains by using the Deckchute. Normally I'd be hooking up with some of the other guys, but if they're already booked, then I'd show up and help coaching the team through, and if possible, or if it's needed, I would be involved in the racing part also.